As I'm live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Rise Report. It is March 4th, 2026. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Jen. I am headmistress here at Rise Innerversity. And I go live pretty much on Wednesdays, trying to keep it around the same time, same day, but typically it's on Wednesdays. We go live here for right now, really being pushed to go live more, but also working through some things on that we'll discuss here in a moment. But the Rise reports are typically a summary of what to expect in the upcoming week. I'm going to touch on what energy we have going on, maybe some channeling, intuitive guidance that comes through along those lines, and then also me talking about what I'm feeling when I'm picking up, what I am processing through this vessel that needs to be shared. So welcome. If you're just now joining, it's the first time here. If it is and you are new here, please drop a comment down below. I'm going to start giving some disclaimers before I dive into this. I'm real, raw, what you see, what you get. That I think is going to be the overall theme for this particular video, because we are coming out of a lunar eclipse in Virgo that happened yesterday morning. I actually got to witness it. I set my alarm, woke up, and I woke up before my alarm, was able to actually witness it. And it was around 4:30 in the morning for me, where I am located, which is in Mountain Standard Time. However, with Virgo, Virgo is very organized. It's very structured, okay? And it is impacting the South Node. And so I feel that for me, what I'm really being shown right now, what's being affected, and this is going to really affect me, guys, because my South Node is in Virgo. Okay. So I have my nodes in Virgo and Pisces. My sun sign is in Pisces. My birthday is coming up on Friday. A lot of these transits that I'm going to go over, and I cover the energy from this Wednesday to next Wednesday. So to March 11th is what I'm going to really be covering, in the Rise reports. But this particular one, it's really impacting me. So I'm going through a lot of emotional stuff. It's definitely impacting my, emotional awareness, my defined solar plexus. And if you have a defined solar plexus, we are to wait until we pass the emotional wave. Okay. And so, definitely feeling that. And now that I'm saying that, I'm wondering where my Virgo in my human design chart is that's affecting that. I need to look into that. However, Virgo themes that may be activated during this time, and I have my notes. I actually brought my notes today, guys. It helps me stay on track. But before we get into the Virgo energy, know that, this lunar eclipse, the eclipse that we just came out of, the one that happened earlier, we had one in the full moon. So that was a solar eclipse that we had in Pisces. We just had a lunar eclipse yesterday in Virgo. These were definitely impacting the nodes that were happening for the collective, and the energy is going to linger for some time, as well as we have some other planetary transitionings happening. I mainly focus on any type of retrogrades or that are happening, and then also the full and the new moon. That's why I'm talking about the eclipse. But it affecting the South Node is going to really be about releasing, endings may be happening. Okay. You may be getting some closure on relationships, patterns, things that you may be doing, things that you want to change within your life, things that are no longer serving for you. And this goes, you know, with this, I'm really getting a review on, things that I just really want to change, things that may be standing in your own way, the not self theme, the shadow work. You may have been getting up to the point in your journey where you've been doing all this shadow work and you're at the point where you're done with it. You're ready for something new. Okay. So this lunar eclipse that we're coming out of, and mind you that we did go into Mercury retrograde. Okay. So, you know, these retrogrades are having us do a lot of the reevaluate, restructure, review, on an overall level. So it's all going to play a part. But with the Virgo themes being activated, this can have to do with your work, your routines, productivity, systems, organization, responsibility, perfectionism, service. So I have gotten to the point in my journey that where and I'm being real and authentic with you guys, just my whole platform was built on business structures and marketing funnels and copywriting and graphic design. And, that's what one of my businesses, Rise Innerversity, helps teach that and build that solid foundation for those who are here to make a change. And that all works. It's great. But I'm also realizing that the reason some of those systems are in play is it feeds the beast. Okay. Excuse me. I had gas release when I said that. That's confirmation. Okay. Don't ever if you're ever doing a live and you have to burp or whatever, don't feel embarrassed by that. The old me would have felt embarrassed, but that's actually confirmation for me because I'm releasing some outdated energy structures that are no longer serving. I don't feel like we're going in that direction as a humanity because, again, one of the core structures that needs to fall within our collective is capitalism. Okay. Know that when I say that the way that they have designed this container that all of us are in right now is it's quite impressive. You know, there's good things. It's layer upon layer upon layer. There's truth within lies within truth within lies. Okay. And there's however many layers that we have to get conscious wise to ascend. It's the same in everything within those layers. Okay. So I don't want to go too much off of rails, but I'm also just channeling what's coming through. I am personally getting a review on how I want to do things, how I want to be a little bit different, how to not get too entangled with this blueprint of how this needs to be. Yes, those things work, but, you know, what exactly are you working for is the question. Okay. The biggest review that I have been getting and what I have been processing is the information that has come to light. I am seeing a lot of these accounts be silent on it. They're not silent on paid Psyops. Okay. That's what they are. They won't be quiet on those agendas, paid agendas, but they're quiet on what, the truth of the reality is, what is actually going on in our world. I'm floored. More people are not fucking talking about it, to be honest. I'm going to start tagging some of these huge accounts that are also associated with certain people that have come to light that don't have people's best intentions. Go figure. People in the New Age community and spiritual community not have the best intentions for the people. They're not saying anything about the truth, but they'll be quick to jump on a paid agenda or paid psyop, create a graphic to show your support. It's all bullshit. That's bullshit. It's all coming to light. And I feel like the way that we are doing things as whatever you want to classify that as a business, as a mission, as your purpose, whatever that is, that in itself is also changing. And so I'm really being told to simplify things. I really just want to keep things simple. If you resonate with what I say, great. If you don't, then fuck off. It's where I'm at and how I'm going to be. I think we are moving past a lot of this perfectionism, the organization, fear of what other people think, all of this other stuff that really is just getting in the way of us serving our divine purpose. So, know that with this eclipse, especially in Virgo, you're going to be called to release some outdated routines, outdated structures, outdated belief systems. Okay. Shadow, perfectionism, fear of what other people think, being ostracized by your tribe. Here comes Mercury. Okay. Bear with me, guys, because it was there and now it's like left, but the imposter syndrome. So we need to let go of that, because a lot of you guys are sitting on a lot of very important information that needs to come out into the collective, but you haven't quite gotten to that point. We need to really start questioning the systems, the information that is out there that really that keeps us stuck in the survival patterns, instead of moving us or furthering us along in this evolution that we are going through as a humanity. And a lot of the marketing tactics are in that way. So we need to be mindful of it. When you are writing copyright, it helps communicate exactly what it is that you want to say to the reader. You're taking the reader through a journey, okay? And you may be bringing up certain awarenesses. However, they have been able to use marketing, copywriting, funnel systems as a way to keep you trapped. I had a realization about this too, that I was going to, right now where I'm being guided to invest my money is things that I need, so if you really want to know what an alchemist is, okay, one of the things is taking the fiat money and turning it into something that's actually asset backed, like gold, silver, or even copper. Any type of precious metals. And so I've been guided to start doing that, to start buying things that my family may need in an emergency, stocking up on things. We went over a lot of this list in the group coaching call that we had this past Sunday. It was a really good call. Just got me thinking about things that you may not know to buy. All right, to invest in, crypto, things along those lines. I almost pulled the trigger because here we go. Marketing tactic comes in, time. There's a time limit on it. Buy now, get it at its lowest price before the price goes up. That's great. It works. And I didn't pull the trigger on it because I was like, I don't need this. I have a plethora of things behind the scenes. And I really do love this individual, and I love how they present the information. But at the moment, it was not something that I was called to. But I could have whipped out my credit card and purchased it, all because it was in this time thing. And that's where I really want to start educating you guys. I didn't know that the video was going to go this way, but it's very important that we need to reevaluate these structures, because the only thing that's keeping it in play is us. And this is where you need to start holding yourself more accountable, okay? No one's watching you except for you and your creator, your higher power, God, source, creator, energy, whatever you want to associate that with. There's definitely something here. If you're someone who does not believe in that, I'm totally not for you. So you can just keep moving on. But, again, no one's going to hold you accountable. I have a plethora of courses that I have invested in that I have not gotten around to. Now, could I have used some of them? Could I have used that money better? Yes. Who's going to come down and force me to do that? No one. I have to hold myself accountable. So the reason that these things are in play, the reason they have success in it, the reason that they work, there's nothing wrong with it. It helps in the overarching thing of getting information out there. However, there are some nefarious agendas at play. People don't use this information for the best of you. There are some nefarious people out there, and the reason that it works is because they are relying on humans to be sheep. Plain and simple. So we just need to pay attention to that, because I do feel, and what is coming out, I don't know it's going to come out until it actually does, guys. What is coming out is that there's probably going to be new ways of doing things, and we need to be very mindful of that, okay? So we have so many different things happening. There's a lot of conjunctions and activations, I will say, with the planets this week. Overall, I think that's just going to happen throughout this year. I'm going to keep it over, what I see playing out this week overall. The only major transit that I will talk about is that we do have Jupiter going direct on the 10th, I believe is what it is. Yes, it will go direct on the 10th. And that's going to be big, okay? Jupiter is the planet that helps expansion. So when it is in retrograde, it feels, retrogrades are always pulling us in, or allowing us to go back and do further reevaluation. A lot of it is internal. Okay. So with Pluto, and I want to say it's in Cancer if I'm not mistaken, when Jupiter is in retrograde, what we are trying to manifest in the collective, any type of plans that we are trying to make, they may feel a little bit restricted, a lot harder to come in. They may not manifest as fast. There may be some stalling that happens energetic wise, that I feel when it goes direct, a lot of this, what has been, the way that I see it is that it's like right there, okay? And it's having a hard time coming in. When it goes direct, I feel like a pressure valve is going to be released, okay? So, there's going to be a lot of forward momentum. And that may be stalling what is actually happening, because let me make sure I am correct. It says it's in Gemini. I want to say it is. I thought it was in Cancer. It is in Gemini. So that's duality, the mind. Expect that when it does go direct, we're going to see a lot of energy, a lot of things, a lot of stuff that where we have not seen movement or momentum, things starting to move and have that momentum. There's a lot of shifts that are happening right now. And some of us, I know that I have been talking to some individuals behind the scenes. We are feeling at a level that our soul is tired. I'm exhausted, to be honest. Now that the information has come to light, it was a process to know, okay, so this is actual truth. This is actual confirmation. What is the next level? Then actually trying to process how the collective handled that information, which was a shit show. So, a lot, I feel a great, the portion of us who actually incarnated here during this time for the shit show, we are ready to see that forward momentum. We are ready to see fires fucking lit. We are ready for people to actually do what is the right thing, because in their deep soul and heart, they know it's the right thing and they're not being told to do what is the right thing. That is the difference. People are ready for that. And so get ready. We're not done yet. A lot of the information that has come up to the surface is just the tip of the iceberg. We're just getting started on this journey, but some of us are ready to get out our pitchforks and ready for that evolution, not revolution. They want the revolution, guys. They want that timeline. They want World War III. They want us to be divided. Okay? They want us to be divided. They don't want us to unite. And this is where we're seeing a total disconnect of where people are in the collective. And you're going to see more and more, come to light over this period of time. There's a lot of false leaders in the world. There's a lot of fake gurus. There are people who are only in it for the clicks, the likes, and they're still healing their junior high and high school cliquey popular trauma. When they got out of high school, they realized that they weren't as big of a shit as they were when they were going through that, and they had a reality check, that they started to create that false matrix. There are so many different false matrix that are so easy to fall into that we need to be mindful of it. I'm at the point where I question everything that is happening in my reality. I also am one that I like to ground the information for us humans or people who are in a human body. Okay. I feel a lot of other people or gurus, they go off into the etherics of whatever fucking information they were channeled by some entity that they can't even pronounce their name. That's all great. Okay, but bring it back down to planet Earth, because the reason there is a disconnect with humanity and why we are continuing in this shit show is because some of you guys can't talk human. And I completely understand that, because I have always struggled talking human. Energy is my first language, and I really am waiting for the day we can get back to being telepathic beings, because it won't fucking matter what comes out of your mouth if you're thinking it. Okay? So, with that said, I'm getting fired up. I am ready to start having some human conversations so that we can start making a change for this collective. overall energy for this week. Well, let me back up. So how this energy may be showing up in your business, if you're building a business, if you are you're here for a greater purpose and you're trying to get your information out, just start reevaluating, reassessing, reviewing any type of outdated systems. Maybe check your funnel systems if they're working. Are your links working? It is Mercury retrograde. Please expect to have some type of technical difficulties, okay? Check what's working, and do you need that, or did you only put that in place because you took some mastermind a long time ago and they said that is what would work, or you needed that? If it's working, keep it in place. Don't change what's working. But if it's not working, fuck it. Okay. God's gonna bring me the right people, and that's the only algorithm I need to rely on. Is where I am at in this journey, okay? I'm tired of the suppression. I'm tired of all the bullshit that all of these social media companies do. It's all agenda. It's all staged. So again, bringing that back, just start reevaluating what is working for you. Is there something that is burning you out? Do you need to restructure things? Just get serious, okay? A lot of that's going to be coming to light. Overall weekly invitation is asking you to release those old habits. Start questioning the systems that feel restricted. We need to start questioning the things that are being presented to us with a fine-tooth comb. And remember what I said, there's always going to be a truth within lie within truth within lie. And so if we are questioning those systems that are making us feel restricted, adding pressure onto our open root, or even if you have an open head center, you're feeling this pressure, then we need to take a step back of that. Allow the new systems to be shown to you. How I navigate the matrix, I started a long time ago. When I pray, I ask the creator, the divine, the one, to show me billboard signs and roadblocks, okay? In threes. And some of them, when it's a specific question that I ask and I say, give me billboard sign or roadblock, I associate it with a specific thing, a number, a spirit animal, something, okay? I want to be shown truth, and I allow the divine to do that. So when you are going through your day, if you are looking for new solutions to the problems that you may be having, if you are letting something go and you want to replace it with a healthy habit and you're not quite sure what that is, if you want to make some changes within your business, and you don't know what new solutions to put in. If you're questioning a narrative and you want to know what the truth is, practice this, apply this by talking to your guides, the spirits. I always talk to the creator. I don't channel, other entities. I never really have unless they go through that, how to get to me. No entity is allowed to connect with me unless they're able to go up to the source creator and come down that channel. That's how I work. I don't do any of that shit. 'Cause again, you don't know who the fuck you're channeling, guys. These are very manipulative interdimensional beings that have been on this fucking planet for a very long time. And if you think you're going to outsmart them, you're going to come up with something new, check that, because look at the shit show. Study the shit show we are in. They are very, very smart and meticulous. Yes, at some level we are going to outsmart them, but by not doing the same things that people have done before. Allow, when you're going reeling it back in, if you are seeking answers to any of those, ask for billboard signs and roadblocks. So overall weekly invitation, trust that everything that you have learned up until this point even if you don't know why you did it, is going to really start becoming more apparent. Okay. I am being guided to step more into speaking my truth, not filtering myself, allowing what information that I am witnessing, that I have been investigating, to really come through. And it is going to come through in a heretical manner. I am a 5-1 emotional manifester. I'm in that 5 line. I'm in that projection. And the projection really has to do with where your filters at, where are your views, where are your belief systems, how is your perception of the reality being perceived. Okay. I'm really overall just a mirror of what you want to see. So get prepared for forward momentum, prepare for movement, prepare for a lot of change, whether you like it or not, whether you're agreeing with the narrative that they are spinning or whether you are creating your own narrative. We need to start getting, we really need to start taking our power back as a collective. There's so many people I see out there who are preaching or talking about sovereignty, but I honestly don't feel that they know what that means. Sovereignty means you're going to stand in your truth unwavering in the moment of regardless of what is happening. I'll give you an example. There are people that I see who are going through the whole state national movement and reclaiming their sovereignty. And I'm in another Facebook group where there are people who are trying to organize people not paying their taxes. Okay. Simple things, not paying your taxes. And you know, they're still scared. They're scared of not paying their taxes. You just found out that the world is ran by horrific people, and you're ready to give them money for it. Paying your taxes. That's the littlest thing that you can do. Don't pay. All right. I know that's scary, and they have tangled a whole web to bring up that fear, to add that program into you that you have to pay your taxes. And if you don't pay your taxes, X, Y, Z will happen. In my opinion, that's being complicit. Paying your taxes is being complicit to what they're doing. And if you don't know what they're doing, the nicest way that I can say it is they're eating babies. Okay. You're being complicit. You're being okay with sick, satanic, pedophilic, reptilian, interdimensional demons who eat humans and hunt them for joy. Okay. They don't have to. They do this because they want to, and have an agenda to bring humanity to the lowest of lows. You want to pay the money. In my opinion, that's just like giving tithing. And you're probably doing that to some churches that agree with it. And voting them in. I can't. Never did my soul think we would get to this point and I would have to be having a conversation with people about, really, you don't see a problem with this? That's being complicit. That's what the divine is telling me. When you vote for these fuckers, you're being complicit. If you don't think there is another choice, well, guess what? Your vote didn't matter in the first place. Okay? Didn't matter. They're going to put whoever they want in that seat. All right. It's all staged. It's all game. And you guys who want to continue to contribute to it, who want to follow the narrative, who think that voting or paying your taxes or anything is going to make a difference, then We need to wake up. For those of you who, I see it on the flip side too. I've heard feedback that people are paying, doing their taxes because the money is going to help them get out of the hole. Well, they got you exactly where they want you then. You're compromised. You're taken over if that's the case. It's sad. It's sad, but we need to get angry at the system that put you in that place in the first place. Okay? Seriously. Because if you think that the money you're going to get back from paying your taxes is going to get you ahead, you have not quite been paying attention enough. Because this is just the start of how they want to crash the economic system. And this is why I said before at the very beginning of the video, if you are not doing things, if you're not the true alchemist, taking your income and actually turning it into something tangible or doing something to build legacy, then I don't know what to come to me if you wake up tomorrow and there's nothing in your bank account or you can't access all of that money. Come to me before you do something stupid, because that's also what they want. This isn't the first time. It's a pattern, guys. It's an agenda. It's the same. They literally have a playbook. It's probably like that black handbook that you would get in high school, that you would write all the notes and you just pass it down to the next person. Like, here's all the cheat codes for the test and everything. It's the same fucking handbook. And from what I'm being guided to really research, it's pretty much along the same time periods. I'm going to start digging deeper in my synchronicities. I know I was doing the Chinese astrology and the numerology, but we're going to tie in. I'm going to compare some astrology reports because they are utilizing this energy for them. Again, I'm releasing. So I'm going to say how I see how they're doing this by influencing the energy. So hopefully you guys can understand a little bit more. And then I'm going to wrap up today's video. How it was shown to me is that whatever it is that we are currently dealing with, if you want to label them as reptilians, Anunnaki, interdimensional beings, I see them as interdimensional beings. I can't quite get on the whole Anunnaki, Zachariah Stitchins, research. I'm not dismissing that those things did not quite exist, that there wasn't something on this planet prior to, that there's always been something on this planet. I'll just say that. I'm not denying that. I classify them as interdimensional demons. They're demons at the end of the day. I'm going to call them what they are, and they're out to fuck humanity. And these creatures, these demons, they cannot create. They don't have life force energy. They don't have the divine creator spark inside of them. Some of them I don't even see have souls. Okay. So they can't not create like we can, humans, in this reality. And so they have an intention, and they put that intention, that white magic, like what I talked about in the root solution. So they have an intention. That's the white magic, 1111, as I speak to this. And they need to do a lot of horrific things. Okay. The black magic, that black magic realm, to bring it into existence. And the black magic really has, they don't see that they're doing anything wrong. Okay. They believe that this is what's going to bring them closer to creating what they think is heaven on earth. But to do that, they need to utilize our life force energy to bring it in. And so that black magic realm, they are casting spells onto the collective, i.e. we, the people who are actually human, because not all of us are human. and preying on our shadows. So they keep us trapped and distracted and suppressed and limited by our black shadows, our poverty mindset, limiting beliefs, fear of what other people think, all of that crap that we're all working on to try to clear to get to the next level. And many of us are just doing it so that we can pay the bills. So, and get out of the matrix and things like that. And you have to work through the shadow, the trauma that was programmed into us as soon as we came into this realm. That is not even our fucking shit in the first place. None of that stuff should happen to a human being when we come into this realm. And so right off the get-go, they are adding their black magic onto us, and we are making it our black magic. So we stay stuck and going back into the voting or paying your taxes. Black magic spell on that one. These fuckers don't need our money, but yet we're going to sign it over because of fear of property taxes, getting our property hijacked, fear of the government coming after you, just fear, black magic. And so to keep that, their manifestation in, which is disgusting when you look at what their intention is. I can't even really classify it as white magic, but I'm going to classify it as that's what that realm is. So they bring the intention in. They do black magic spells, which is, always against someone else, i.e. we the people. And because of that, we get stuck in the shadows. We keep the beast machine going, and they need the red magic, but they're not going to sacrifice something out of their pocket. They're not going to do something good for someone else. They're not going to donate their money. And even if they are donating their money, it is going to a nefarious cause. But that's why these 6 fucks are the world's humanitarians and philanthropists, and they are actually doing sacrificing, which is that red blood magic, okay? But the only way that they can keep that in play is through us. And so the more that we contribute, the more that we participate, the more that we give away our sovereignty and our light and our life force energy to these demonic fuckers, the more that the beast system continues to go. And if we don't wake up from it, if we don't start making radical changes within our lives, within our business, and this is what this lunar eclipse is doing in Virgo, it's allowing us to have this reevaluation so that we can restructure routines and things, outdated fucking systems that need to go down. If we are not mindful of how we are playing a part, how we need to take personal responsibility for the way that the world is, okay? Even though they kept us hijacked, they kept us asleep, they kept us plugged in, we were too occupied in that black magic fucking realm, okay? Just to pay attention. They do a distraction. They tell you to look here, something's going on over here. They're going to insert someone else. And it does not fucking matter what political party, what monarch, any of that. Doesn't fucking matter, guys. Does not fucking matter. Okay? When you can rule over yourself is the day that humanity will change. But most people out there can't do that. And what I mean by that is, what are you doing when no one is looking? Where are your morals? Where are your values? Where are you holding yourself accountable? Most humanity can't do that. And so those who are actually here to make a change for humanity as a whole, all right, we need to start setting an example. That's a whole new reevaluation that's happening on the surface level too, is these false gurus are going to fall. They need to. All right. So with that, overall, That's what I see happening a lot with this energy that's coming up. We're going to be doing a lot of reevaluation. I'm going to be doing some restructuring on this specific platform of how I approach things, how I'm being guided, what knowledge that I actually need to share with the collective. And how I just need to allow my throat chakra to open up, because again, the information that needs to come through is not me. It's really the divine working through me. But if I am allowing that black magic realm that I talked about to stand in my way, then I am doing a disservice to the divine. That is not why I came here. I didn't come here to people please. I didn't come here to make fucking friends. I didn't come here to spend time worried about what you fucking think about me. We're past that, guys. We are towards the end. Prophecy is rolling out. And if there are not massive fucking changes that happen on this planet, then we can all get wrapped up into another false matrix. And they're trying to roll that out as we speak. That's the whole agenda 2030. That's the whole 15-minute smart cities. And the thing that people need to be aware is that there are high expectations of how they believe this is going to roll out. Or if they didn't see it in the last month, it's not happening. That's not how these people work at all. It is masterful. And I think that's where God is leading me to, do my investigation, is to understand at a psychological, spiritual, mental, physical, military way of how they've been able to structure the matrix as a whole. It's quite impressive. Okay. But if you have ever played chess, all right, it's not a game that chess can go, that game can go for a while. It's not like Chutes and Ladders. It's not something you're going to play in 30 minutes. Depending on who you're playing, it could be that. But it's a game where, you know, the people who are in, I'm not even going to say people, the demons that are in control of this realm, they play the long game. Okay. And when I say the long game, some of their agendas that they roll out happened 100 years ago, because they're vampires. So I'm going to put my knowledge of the vampire timeline that I have researched into play. They probably don't die. Okay. The movie Death Becomes Her it comes to mind. I think that's what happens. They just go underground and then they resurface later on 100 years, because 100 years is important. A lot of forgetfulness happens within 100 years. Okay. Most of our lifespans are not 100 years anymore. So when you have someone elderly in your family, okay, that may have remembered how history was 100 years ago and dies at 98, you have a new soul come in, okay, it's not going to know the truth. It's only going to go by what history was given to you, and history is always written in the form of the winners. So, we need to, when they play the long game, guys, I'm talking about they're patient, they're methodical, and they've gotten really good at what it is that they do, because they use the same handbook, because we as human beings have been so susceptible and naive to go along with the agenda. Okay. So I have recently really started to dive more into the Gnostic text, and I was researching a group of Gnostics called the Cathars, okay? And the reason I was drawn to that is because where the Cathars were located in France, and they actually had a crusade against them, where they were located was where part of my family heritage is from. So I can kind of see that maybe I had a distant relative that may have been part of the Cathars. And the Cathars, okay, here they are, a small group. They don't conform to the narrative that they are pushing out about Jesus, okay, and Christianity. They saw the corruption in the Catholic Church. They know that the agenda is being pushed on them. And so this group of people called bullshit and believed in the Gnostic text, you know, what Gnosis was. And mind you, they didn't have the Nag Hammadi back then, okay? These were people that actually saw the container for what it was, which they were a bit of extremists. They believed that the container that we lived in, okay, the world, the matrix, was of the devil. Everything is of the devil, okay? And it is to trap your soul. It's a lie, and it is to trap your soul. And we have to bring the awareness to be able to transcend to the true heaven. They believed in creating the demiurge. Now, a couple of things that we need to keep in mind about this, about everything that's going on during that timeline. They didn't have the Nag Hammadi, okay? So they didn't find that. I think the Nag Hammadi and the Dead Sea Scrolls were both found around the same period after World War II. Interesting that came out around that time, okay? That plays a huge part. But going back to the Cathars, that's what they believed. And they had two different types of Cathars. They had ones that were the regular merchants that had to work in the container, okay? They were married, they had kids. And then you had the ones that were like the priest. And the priest didn't believe in being married. That's why they actually thought it was a sin to even bring children into the container, because if this container is created by the devil, how selfish of you to bring another life into going into this reincarnation process. So needless to say, that's the summary of, there's more about the Cathars, but overall, that's pretty much what they believed. And when you get into the Gnostic text, that's what they all believe. So I'm thinking, in the back of my mind, the question raises, what shit show was going on during that time? And we're talking about 1100, 1200, okay? To have a group of humans in France, okay? Beautiful area, gorgeous, start to develop this belief system. Same shit show, same control, same forcing a narrative, all of that. And still a lot of us, I know I'm feeling that way. I've had that thoughts. That's why that's why I was drew to looking at the Cathars outside of my heritage. That's why I lean more towards the Gnostic text, because I can, in my mind's eye, and how I see that and how the information is relayed to me, I can see that playing out. So it makes me think, what was going on in their reality for them to feel that way? And keep in mind that they didn't have what we have now. Like, everything is in your face, global. It's at your fingertips. We can research this information with the technology. Okay? Now, the Cathars, they did a crusade. It is said that none of them survived. So they were out to destroy the Catholic Church. A lot of Gnostics, okay? Gnosticism is one of the most suppressed religions out there, because it went against what the church was preaching, which was, you know, heaven is outside of you and heaven is within. And for us to actually get to the spot in true heaven, we need to ascend out of the false matrix that is designed to keep us here. And they've been able to create the false matrix. That's what I'm saying. Like, these are smart, interdimensional beings that like to keep humanity trapped. So there's a lot that we need to be mindful of, guys, that we need to start taking and playing a part and just stop contributing. So we're working on getting a series together of doing some more videos for you. I'll probably be releasing them on YouTube, but stay tuned. Keep posted. If you haven't already joined any of the free communities that we have here at Rise, we have one channel on Instagram. Okay. We have one channel on Instagram you can join. Highly recommend joining the Telegram group. It is filled with information. If you are someone who likes to deep dive, you kind of want to understand what's going on, maybe get a bird's eye view, you can find that information in there. Rise Innerversity has its free 3-part training, which is what I mentioned in this video. That is the root solution. It's going to give you guys a better view of the magic spell that we are under, how they keep us trapped, how you can start to use that magic for yourself and take your power back, and really know how manifestation works. I don't see many people talking about this. So yeah, it's free for you to join. No upsells or anything like that. The only step after the root solution is to join Rise Innerversity, Earth Keepers Guild. That's where we really help you learn how to navigate the shit show. So with that said, guys, drop me a comment down below. Let me know how you guys are doing. How are you hanging in there? Do you have any questions? Is there anything specific that you would like to see me touch on? Things along those manners. Thank you for being on this journey with me. We are all navigating the shit show together. And I think the more that we really do start to claim our sovereignty and unite, things are really going to start changing. If you're someone who's just processing a lot of emotions, which I am, I think the collective is as a whole, get outside, go, ground, go for a walk. I'm going to be going out in nature this Friday because it's my birthday. So I'm going to get out in nature, go up into the mountains, and really just connect back to God. That's the one thing that I don't agree with, but that doesn't fully align with me in the Gnostic text. I feel like this is our realm. I feel like it's been hijacked by demons, and we are here to take it fucking back. Period. And so I'm claiming that timeline. And at some level, I think a lot of our souls are getting tired and we're ready for that change. But that change starts with you, my dear. So y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you everyone who popped on, and I look forward to seeing you in the next. Bye now.